What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a community reaction video for the video that I posted just a few days ago here. Did you get shafted? Are you trying to cope? Let's talk about it. This video got amazing retention, and there were hundreds of comments. I definitely did not expect this video to get the engagement that it got. And I am just so thankful that it did get the engagement that it got, because it was actually some huge growth for my channel, which I am so appreciative of. Literally overnight, this video alone gained me hundreds of subscribers. So yeah, I genuinely cannot thank you guys enough. And because of this, we're actually pretty close to hitting that 1,000 subscriber number now, where I'll be able to finally monetize my channel. So this is super exciting for me. And as a little celebratory thing for, for my little Dokkan community here, I've decided that at 1,000 subscribers, I'm actually going to open up a Discord server that all of you guys can join, so that we can start to cultivate our community together. So we definitely have that to look forward to. I'm really hoping that we can hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, hopefully at least by the end of the anniversary. That would be amazing and phenomenal. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. But yeah, I definitely did want to do a reaction video here, because I knew that this video was going to get some type of views. It seemed like the type of topic that people wanted to hear about. I threw buzzwords in the title about shafted and cope, so I knew that this video was going to get a few clicks here and there, but I definitely did not expect this. There were so many people, leaving all of these heartfelt comments about, this being a video that, we needed, and this was so honest, and they appreciated me opening up about these things, and they wish that more people would be, open and honest about this stuff, and this is the kind of video that new players need to hear, and things like that. So I did just want to kind of scroll through the comments here, just to be able to acknowledge a lot of your guys' opinions, because, not only am I so proud of a lot of you who seem to have very good mentalities about this game, but there are definitely a few outliers that we are going to be addressing as well. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and start scrolling through some of these comments and see how you guys are feeling about this subject. So we got the homie Vero up here with the popping off comment. This might be the most important Dokkan video ever made. In some facets I agree. Obviously I'm biased because I created the video myself. But this is just a topic that I haven't really seen covered in the public eye. I know that some of the top content creators have definitely, addressed topics like this in smaller doses, or put in certain sentences here and there, in their other videos. But I don't think that I've ever actually seen someone make an entire video around this subject, with the sole intention of grabbing people's attention and letting them know the importance of this stuff. So yeah, I do agree that this is a very important video to make. I am probably going to make this video annually, in every single anniversary, because there's no doubt that the mentalities that we've been seeing this anniversary and previous anniversaries will continue for years to come, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and read here. There were quite a few comments, talking about having been shafted, and that made me so sad. Like, there were so many people in here who just, it seemed like they felt like they finally had a place to kind of open up and just be honest about how they felt about being shafted and stuff. It honestly, like, gave me a little bit of depression, because I was like, no, like, there's so many people who are just trying to cope with this. But it also it was very heartfelt, and it made me feel good about the fact that I made this video, because of how much it seemed to actually help some people, right? Okay, so let's start skimming here. There is a lot of stuff to look through here. Let's see. Again, there's just a ton of people with sentiments here that I loved. Randomly saw this video in my feed, gave it a watch. I think this genuinely changed how I play Dokkan as a very new player who was almost willing to lose money over this game. Thank you for allowing me to get a better perspective of that decision before it was too late. So this is an example of a person who seems like they're newer to gacha games, and was contemplating going down the spending route, and is maybe now more aware of the dangers that lie ahead. So, that's good. I hope that they are able to make some positive decisions from this point forward for that. Um, shout out to Salted Ham. This is one of my top subscribers. This man has seen every single one of my Dokkan videos. He's absolutely amazing. So I appreciate the support, my dude. Um, so yeah, every player needs to be shafted hard at least once in order to learn how to use their stones and money properly. Unfortunately, this is very true, right? A lot of people do have to learn the hard way, but that's the point of this video, is so that people can get ahead of it and not experience the pain of a shaft before they understand, the nightmare that it causes you. Oh, and this is another thing that I wanted to point out. Another important factor of making this video. You probably won't see my comment. I wanted to point out I have read every single comment on this video, and I will continue to for this video's lifespan. Because I have put out the PSA in the video saying that I wanted this to be a place that people could open up, if they are struggling with their, getting shafted or struggling with the money that they've spent on these games and stuff. I definitely want this to be a place where people feel like they can open up about those things. So I have read every single comment. I've replied to quite a few of them. There are just so many at this point that I can't reply to them all, but I have seen and heard you guys. And that is another, big reason why I wanted to make that Discord server, so that we have an additional place to talk as a community. And there definitely will be, a section in there dedicated to coping, because, at the end of the day, this is gambling. And I think it's very, very important for us to have those resources available. Okay, so yeah, there's just been countless people talking about their personal experience here. So this video speak levels. I too can share a story of corrupted financial decision making back during the pandemic when they were 16, gotten laid off from the job. Going through, the stimulus checks, love that, racking up a bunch of money, blowing a ton of it on Dragonstones. Hey, I did the exact same thing. Okay, this was actually one of the points, the pandemic and the being cooped up in a house and and having all this free money coming in from the government and nothing to spend it on. I absolutely did the same thing. I spent so much money. That was actually probably what kickstarted me spending money on every single banner in Dokkan. So I'm sure that there are other people out there who feel a little bit affected by the pandemic. And then as life kind of came back to normal, if your habits didn't readjust, then yeah, there are quite a few of us who ended up in who ended up in those positions. They finish off the message here by saying, "Cheers, everyone, play for fun, not greed," which is a very, very good mentality to have, right? At the end of the day, we got to remind ourselves that it's a video game and it's meant to be fun. So, if you're justifying, fun just being pulling the new units, but then you had to spend hundreds of dollars to do that, or even thousands of dollars to do that, so you end up walking away at the end of the day down about it and you're not having fun, then ultimately it wasn't the right decision because you're not having fun, right? I'm glad I got this in my feed. I stuck through the whole video. I'm so glad that I did. You're one of the realest YouTubers. I hope you keep this realness when you eventually prosper. Absolutely. I replied to this comment and said, that I'll never change. I'm big on staying true to myself. So yeah, if you, definitely don't worry about me becoming some big pretentious Hollywood guy if my channel pops off. I will always be true to myself. I will always continue, to spread the messages that are close to my heart. Goated takes, thank you very, very much. Biggest realization is that you can spend any amount of money and get nothing, just like a casino, right? This is a very, very good mentality to have. You do need to understand up front that there is no guarantees in this gacha game, right? Or any gacha game for that matter. Oh, I need to pause and address that, because I did see quite a few comments in here talking about the fact that this video not only is amazing for Dokkan Battle, but it's amazing for all gacha games. Yes, I kept the pinnacle focus on Dokkan Battle while I was making the video because I am a Dokkan Battle content creator, and that is the only gacha game that I've ever really played. But yes, that is absolutely true. There are hundreds of other gacha games out there whose, strategies and goals are to take your money the exact same way that this game is. So this video absolutely applies to any and all gacha games. For sure. It is not just, Dokkan Battle. So yeah, there were a lot of people commenting things about that too, which I thought was a very, very important detail to bring up, that it doesn't matter what game you are playing. These are definitely good tips that you can, take advice on. So this comment here was talking about how they're a Yamcha fan, and, they wailed out for Yamcha, and they've skipped a bunch of other stuff because they really wanted Yamcha, and they are, happy that they're, that they're choosing the things that are going to make them happy in the game, right? Because they are able to bounce back from a shaft because they realize like, oh, I'm getting the characters that I actually enjoy, the characters that that I want, that are goated in Dokkan for them, and then they're actually able to maintain their happiness with the game. So that is a very, very good mentality to have, and I'm glad that you're able to accept not having every single unit, and that you were strategic enough to save up stones for the units that you want. Very strong message. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Goated takes. Amazing video. A great voice for content. This is something else that I wanted to address too, because I think this is something that a lot of content creators have struggle with a little bit at the beginning. Is like hearing their own voice back when they're listening to their videos. That was something that I got over very quickly. It's definitely not awkward for me to listen to my video or listen to my voice back. I'm a bit of a narcissist in that way. I love hearing myself talk. That's a part of the reason why I made the channel in the first place, so I can sit here and ramble all day, right? I love to talk and talk and talk. But yeah, one thing that I was a little bit insecure about for a little while was just listening to my voice back in my recordings, and then listening to a lot of my favorite YouTubers and just comparing the quality of voice. I was a little bit insecure about it because I didn't think that my voice was that good for YouTube. I thought that I needed something else to it, and maybe it's just because I've heard my own voice for 27 years, so I'm very used to it, and it sounds like a mundane voice. So maybe other people feel that way too. But it is nice because there have been quite a few comments in here talking about how they just enjoy my voice. And so yeah, that definitely means a lot to me and is a bit of a confidence booster. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, so this one's good. I originally thought this video was going to be a meme, but after watching it, it's an incredible video. I got everything I wanted from both banners. Only thing I didn't get was the GT Goku and the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, but I'll be saving rainbow tickets. Hopefully I'll be able to get them with that. Yes, so this was another thing, to mention here. A lot of people who have just commented in here talking about the shaft that they got, because there were a ton of comments where literally the entire comment was just them explaining to me how many stones they had spent and how much nothing they were able to pull, and that they were sad, or that they wanted to cope, or that they were just didn't know what to do, or just that they were they lost hundreds of dollars and they were down about it. This is a good shout right here. We have tickets coming in the later part of the anniversary. If you were playing during the countdown celebration and getting all your missions done and your logins done then, and you're still doing the same now, you are accumulating all of those tons of thanks rainbow tickets. So just remember that while Dokkan is an evil giant that wants to take all our money, they also do give back to the community in ways, right? They giving us these free tickets is very, very good. So you're not down and out yet. For all those people who are sad at the moment, the anniversary is not over, right? The banners don't go away until August, like the first or second week of August or something like that. So there's still a lot of time to pick up these units if you want them. Not all hope is lost yet. Let's see. I think a lot of people needed to hear this with no filter, including me. I would say I have some good luck in this game. I have been one to summon on almost every banner and get the unit. However, when a banner comes around that I don't get the feature unit, I almost feel robbed in the past. I tend to get them. This leads to buying stones on discounts or packs or tickets. I always regret spending money on this game, but continue anyways. I'm not a content creator. I'm a college student with a finite amount of money. This is a good wake-up call. I hope this speaks to many others in the same way. I wish you all the best. You're closer to 1K subs. Wonderful. So yeah, this is a very common sentiment that I've seen as well. This is someone who sounds like their mentality is exactly the same as mine. That is how I ended up in the position that I am in, in debt. So, this is, I am so happy to hear you say that this is a good wake up call. It seems like people are going to actually be able to learn from my mistakes here. So that is just amazing. Good luck to you in college and in Dokkan, my friend. Okay. So this is, This is honestly so true. As a person who is currently addicted to spending on these games, I've decided that I'm just going to stop spending in general. It's such a waste, especially with all of the real life stuff they have to pay for. Let's see. I can't say that I miss when I was a kid without a job, because if I never pulled the unit, I had patience to wait for them to come back. But honestly, think I'm at that point where I just need to stop spending. Yes, absolutely. I think, you know, a lot of people hearing a lot of people saying things like this, kind of coming to the realization that they need to stop spending. Or I guess I won't say that because I'm not going to take credit for people's realizations, right? I'm sure that there are a lot of people who have been thinking about stopping spending for a long time, but I understand how it can be hard to do, right? So, the same thing is like when you're, I don't know, like a smoker and you smoke cigarettes, right? I'm sure that there are thousands, maybe millions of cigarette smokers out there who say oftentimes like, I need to stop or I'm going to stop, and then are unable to or just don't, right? And I've kind of been the same way with spending in these games. So yeah, we're gonna talk in deeper details about this, in the Discord server and stuff. And like I said, I will have helpful resources in there. That is the plan, to be able to give people resources to help if you're unable to just choose to stop. But yeah, I want my channel to be a really good motivating place for that, which is why I'm going to kind of reevaluate the way that I operate. And I promise, this is a promise coming from me, that we are definitely going to be spending a lot less money on this game, coming up down the road. So you guys will be able to make adjustments along with me for your, gacha gaming habits. So we are in this together. Okay, so I like your take on this. Definitely agree. You will spend so much money, and for what? Literally a digital character that probably won't be good years down the line. Oh, okay. So this has a similar sentiment to something else I wanted to address. There were quite a few comments in here that talked about, that kind of minimized the value of what you're actually summoning for by saying it's literally just a digital character. It's just a PNG. It's a video game that might shut down, and once the servers are gone, then all the units are gone, and it was a waste of money and stuff. So I do want to pause right here and give a slight correction to these people. Now, it's perfectly okay for them to have those opinions. If they are, the type of people that view it that way, that is totally fine for you. But if you're someone that has that sentiment, what you need to understand is that this, at the end of the day, is a hobby. And hobbies, by definition, are just extra spending in your life that's not necessary, that are essentially a waste of money. There's no better way to describe what you spend your money on in a hobby other than it being a literal waste of your money, because it's not something that is providing you, like, something that's getting you further in your life other than maybe providing you happiness, right? But, if you think about the other, hundreds and thousands of things that people spend their money on that are potentially just useless things, that compares directly to how people spend in Dokkan Battle. If you're the type of person that enjoys movies, and you can justify a Saturday night that you end up dropping, $35 on movies. I live in California, so that stuff's really expensive here. So, $15 on a movie ticket plus all the concessions, that's 2 hours of entertainment, and then it's all gone forever. You don't get the movie. You just have the memory of how it felt to be there. You just have the memory of how the popcorn and candy tasted. But then that money's gone, and so is the thing that you bought with it. So that's just the reality of when people spend money on their hobbies, a lot of the time, it is just a waste of money, right? So for me, I don't look at it as if the Dokkan servers were to close down, then I will have wasted all this money, because it's given me years and years worth of entertainment and joy. That is absolutely worth spending my money on. And if Dokkan were to shut down, yes, I would be devastated about it, but not because I would regret the money that I spent on it, because I would just be upset that I wouldn't be able to play Dokkan anymore. That being said, I do have a sense of regret for the amount of money that I've spent on it because I know that I've overspent. But for people that just choose to spend, small discounts here and there are definitely some places, right, where, like just in this anniversary alone, every single anniversary, they give us really, really good discounts in the shop. Some very, very cheap discount packs that you can buy for only like $4, or, like the step up ticket packs that they gave us. The first pack only costs $4 each, and that gave you some extra tickets to be able to spend on the banner. I did see a comment or two about a few people that literally just bought that very first ticket pack for like $4 and managed to pull the new anniversary LR. That's not bad. Spending $4 on something that you wanted, and then, whether you got it or not, that's perfectly fine. I'm sure even if they got completely shafted on the $4 that they spent to get themselves that 50 stone pack and do one multi, even if they got shafted, they'd be like, okay, well, that's one Starbucks I won't buy because it was $4, right? So yeah, I definitely wouldn't say it's wise to try and discount, the value of the different people can value these games at a different level. Basically, is what I'm saying. Okay, so moving on from that topic here. This was a funny comment. We need a 2 to 5 minute version of this specifically for the new speed event. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that are coping hard from from that new speed event. It is absolutely ridiculous. I did make a guide for that video, or for that event as well. So if you want to, go ahead and hop over onto my channel and check that out if you're struggling with that event. But yeah, this was a funny comment to me because there are a lot of people who are really frustrated about those missions right now, right? Good video, helped me out a lot. Underrated content creator. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I want to get down to a specific comment. There was one that had some very, very, in my opinion, toxic views that I wanted to address here. Let me see if I can find it. It was a pretty long comment, so it'll be apparent when it comes up here. Oh, this right here. Okay, this is a good comment to address. The hardest part about Dokkan, it's when you grind up 50 stones. That means blood, sweat, and tears. Hit a multi, and you pull an SSR that doesn't even Dokkan Awaken. Sag, right? Okay. So what I wanted to address here, this person either didn't watch the whole video or missed one of my big points in the video. And that was, when you have 50 stones, that does not mean it's time to do a multi. That is the root of the problem. That's why you're in tears, Mr. or Mrs. or something in between, whatever you are. This is just not a good mentality to have, right? You should definitely be saving up hundreds, if not thousands of stones, and then spending when it's smart to spend, right? I heard a few other people talking about how in the past they have tried to make a summoning strategy for themselves by just summoning for like on the discounts, just doing all the discount multis and then stopping, which meant that they did a few multis on every single banner, and then they found themselves after an entire year stoneless because they spent on every single banner, and practically unitless because they weren't dedicating enough to individual banners to be able to actually get lucrative pulls that they wanted. They weren't getting lucky right off the bat from each banner, so they would stop summoning and then just move on to the next one. That's not the good way to do it. You're not going to end up with a lot of stuff. You're going to end up like this person, right? So that was a big shout that I put in my video, was that you want to save up your stones. You want to spend on these big, big banners. I had somebody, comment that they actually DM'd me on Discord, and they were talking about the fact that Dokkan gives out about 7,000 free-to-play stones per year, which I think is about accurate. They were talking about the fact that if you were to split that up and spend 2,500 on the anniversary, spend 2,500 on the worldwide celebration, and then 2,500 on, maybe Golden Week, or you could split up that other 2,500 in smaller increments to give yourself a chance to get some other random units that you may want here or there. Yes, absolutely. Only summoning 3 times per year. This was a person that had laid out for me. That was their summoning strategy, and they've been so happy with what they've gotten. They had the realization that LRs, while they are fancy and shiny, are definitely not the best units in the game, and you can go without a lot of the yellow coin LRs, and that the Dokkan Fest units are really, really where you want to spend, you know, the majority of your stuff. And so they've done that, and now they have a really, really successful account. And while they're missing units, they have completed all the hard content, and they're really, really you know, satisfied with the state of their account today. So good on that person for having the patience to be able to, you know, wait and summon. And they are also, they mentioned 100% free to play. So even better, right? They haven't even had to depend on buying any discounts or tickets or anything like that to help them out. So wonderful stuff to hear. Okay, this is a similar kind of comment to what I had just said, right? This person never summons between January and June. They summon from, you know, July to September and then November to December. So this is obviously anniversary and then like worldwide and Tanabata celebration, right? Which are like the big celebrations of the year, and that totally makes sense. And they have never regretted it. And that was a very, very common sentiment that I have seen. Anybody who came in these comments and mentioned that they think they're doing Dokkan right because they save up stones and they are patient, and then you know, they always mention that they never regret it, which is very, very nice. Okay, let's see here. Oh, this person asked me to make a calculation for the amount of stones to grind up before the end of the anniversary. I don't have all those calculations. I let them know that if I had the time to do the research, I would maybe make a video for it. But I know that people like Toon Rami especially love to make the Dragonstone videos. So jump over to his channel if you really, really want to see this. I'm sure he already has posted a video about it. See, just subscribed. Wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate you very much. Okay, where is this comment at? Man, there's that one I really, really want to get to. Oh, okay. Pity. This is another thing that I wanted to talk about. So there were quite a few people in here who were mentioning the pity system. Outright, I want to say that while a pity system would be wonderful, and yes, it would be nice for, you know, players, it would be a very helpful thing if you knew going into a banner that at X amount of stones, whether it's, you know, 1,000 or 2,500, whatever it be, that you would be guaranteed a copy of the brand new headlining unit on the banner that it releases on. While that would be amazing, it's definitely not the right coping mechanism to hope for it. And that is a very common thing that I have seen through these comments, is people's response to their shaft saying, Dokkan needs pity. And I think that that's just wrong. I don't think that this game needs pity. I think, as I was just speaking about, people who have, you know, spent their stones wisely, who have saved their stones and spent them wisely, are playing this game in a way where they don't need pity because they're able to kind of control the stuff that they're able to get, right? At least not perfectly, right? Because there's also obviously no guarantees. They could get completely shafted, even though, you know, even after saving up for months or a whole year, but it's very, very uncommon. And usually if you're able to save up, then you're not going to be sitting there hoping for pity because, you know, ultimately the people who are just saying that pity and the lack of pity is the problem, I encourage you to take a look inwards, because I think that maybe your strategy with playing the game could be more of the issue that's causing you to be in the position you're in, rather than Dokkan's decision making. And that that sentiment right there is exactly, okay, this is where we've gotten. I found one of the comments here. So we're going to go ahead and read this comment from Cooper here. So, what you said about people summoning on random banners would hold water if we didn't witness free-to-play players keep up to 3,000 stones to get shafted. A lot of gacha games outside of Dokkan have a mechanic that allows you to pull your unit after getting a certain amount. I got both units, and I get almost every LR that I go for. The last ones that I went for and didn't get were Bulma and LR Metal Cooler. Still pretty happy, but the gaslighting that you and Truth try to pull every time is quite annoying if you ask me. Okay, so I kind of already addressed the answer to this comment of what I was just saying, but I'll go ahead and read my response here. So 3,000 stones without getting a new unit is an extremely rare case, first of all. And even then, you'll have enough coins to buy a new unit from the shop at that point. I also doubt that in 3,000 stones, you wouldn't pull anything good. Maybe you didn't get the brand new banner unit overall, but the summons had to have given them some good value. If it didn't, that's because they weren't summoning on a banner that they should have been summoning on the first place, that's my point to begin with, right? So if you're a free-to-play player and you have 3,000 stones and you spend all of that on a banner and you don't feel satisfied with the summons at the end of it, you picked the wrong banner. You should have summoned on a banner that had more value for your account. That's the point. That's the whole point. So this is not a problem of Dokkan. This is not because they need pity. This is because players need to make better decisions about how they're spending their stones. I'm not gaslighting anybody. This is just true. This is just factual. There are very few people in the world who have more hours put into this game than me into Truth. We know what we're talking about, okay? I don't want to hear that. Okay. Now this, I'm going to go ahead and end it here with this comment because this was the absolute most egregious example that we needed to make an example of this person. So let's go ahead and get into this. This is from SSJ Future Gohan. First, I'd like to say that the fact that so many people got shafted so badly on this banner and the fact that you felt like you had to make this video is a problem. It's a problem with the state of this game. Everything you said was on point, and people do need to hear this, which I appreciate them acknowledging. I applaud your message, however, I'd like to make a few points. They also mention here that they've been playing card games, I assume like trading card games where it's basically IRL gacha, right? And gacha games since I was 8 and am now 30, so they have some experience, okay? First, yes, they don't care about the little person, but as a company selling a product to consumers, they should at least try to bait their consumers into spending more money. This is how companies thrive in a capitalist system. What this game does with the odds it has is comparable to companies like Topps, which is a trading card distributor, chasing, baseball cards and whatnot, hoping that people, he's basically saying that doesn't exist for them to con people out of saying that there's something in the packs that isn't actually there so that people buy packs hoping for something that doesn't exist. That's not how it works. You have a reward to entice your customers to continue bringing them back. This game so often fails to do that. I completely disagree in the sense that, like we mentioned before, the free tickets, the tickets. This is a free thing that is being given out. There are so many free Dragon Stones and free rewards being given to players just for coming and being a part of the anniversary. Even if you are a player who doesn't play at any other point of the year, if you just jump in for the countdown celebration and play during the anniversary, you'll get enough Dragon Stones to be able to summon and earn a bunch of new characters. They give out this stuff for free. I don't see how they're failing to, reward or entice the customers to continue bringing them back. If they weren't, then this game would have died a long time ago because people wouldn't have continued coming back, right? So second, stemming off my previous point, they need to start rotating older units out of summons, telling your players guaranteed SSR on a summon, and then pull an SSR unit from the game's debut in 2015 that was not even effective on release and is now a useless unit, is bull that your consumers can see through, and it angers them when it happens. Okay. So I need to stop you right here and say that you are speaking on behalf of the entire community when you say this, and I don't think that that's a very fair take, because I am perfectly satisfied with the guaranteed SSR system. I've been playing Dokkan, and I assume that this person who has years and years in gacha games has maybe been playing Dokkan since before the GSSR meta as well. So for people who have been playing since back then, you understand how much worse summoning was back when it wasn't guaranteed SSR. And they actually had specific banners that they would announce as being GSSR because not every banner was, right? And summons were just much worse then. And literally ever since the day they added GSSR, I have felt so much more satisfied with literally every single multi that I've gotten. And it's worth mentioning here that, just because you have the possibility to get some crappy 2015 unit doesn't mean that you're going to. There's also a bunch of amazing banner units that, because they've added this GSSR mechanic, you now have a better chance to pull if you don't end up getting them on their initial banner, right? Like it's just good. And because it's a gamble, you're not guaranteed anything. The only thing you're guaranteed here is an SSR, and it's exactly what they're telling you, right? This isn't meant to scam or deceive players. I guess maybe if he is addressing newer players that don't quite understand that not every unit on a banner is good, then that's exactly why content creators like me are here, to inform those players and let you know when every single unit releases exactly how good they are for the game, so that you know whether or not it's going to be a worthwhile unit to get, right? Okay, so that is not wise on any level. It frustrates players and hurts their motivation to keep playing and summoning for stones. It also fails to provide that bait that I mentioned before. Okay, maybe if you rotate those 2015 units out and replace them with units from 2017 onwards, your customers would be willing to come back and maybe spend even more. Okay, again, speaking on behalf of the entire community, I only disagree with this, not from any way that I can prove, other than the fact that if they weren't actually successfully baiting players, people wouldn't still be spending money on this game. So they are baiting players properly. And I think bait is a bad word, because bait, well, maybe it is a good word, right? Because it's technically a scam, right? They're trying to get you to spend your money. Okay, so maybe if you rotate the 2015 out and go 2017 onwards, okay, there are plenty of units from 2017, 2018, even 2021 that are still completely useless today. So I really don't think that this would help much. If you're talking about just because it would make the overall pool of units much smaller, then sure, I guess, I can't argue with you there. This would be a good thing for them to do, but it's not necessary for them to do it, because people still summon anyway. They just don't. I don't know. I'll pause on that, because there's an overall comment that I want to make about this, but we're gonna get through all this first. It comes across as if they don't care at all. Yes, they don't. Like they barely even try to give us chase units. I'm not 100% sure what chase units means. I think that this is a terminology that's used in probably like for tops, like the trading card thing, I'm assuming. So if you're somebody that knows what that means, can you comment down below and let me know? I would love to be informed if there's some terminology I'm missing out on there. But I'm assuming it means like good units, right? Like things that you're actually going to want to summon for. And I just don't agree with that. Most of the the content that they release, most of the units that they release are really, really good, right? They're or at least they're very hype, and they're units that people want, right? There obviously have been those few exceptions, like Raditz was a horrible release, but there are a ton of people who are huge Raditz fans, and even when his banner came out and people were outright saying it's like the worst release that's ever happened, there are still so many people who summoned like crazy for him, because a ton of people love Raditz, right? That seems like reason enough to summon, even if you just like the unit, right? A lot of people are like, oh, Bulma's a crappy release because they don't like the character, but they made it one of the most busted LRs in the game. That seems like a good enough unit to chase, right? Anyway, he says, and it's been this way for years. I get that it's a gacha game. I get that it's gambling. I spent tens of thousands of dollars on cardboard in my life, so I get it. If I buy a booster box, a set of Dragon Ball Super cards for $80, I don't mind spending on that, because I know that there's going to be some kind of reward in it. This works for Bandai too, because that reward is going to make it more likely for someone to buy another box. You either pull something you need, or you pull something of that value that you can then trade for something that you need. Pretty simple. Okay. So there are a few things to address here. He's basically saying, so I have played the Pokemon trading card game in my youth. So I do understand a little bit about the structure that he is denoting here. So what he's talking about is if you buy a booster box, it's like a big pack that comes with a bunch of the booster packs where you get like 10 cards each, and then you're getting like a couple hundred cards or something like that, right? Usually the way that those companies set those up is if you were to buy a sealed booster box there is guaranteed to be a certain thing in there. Whatever, like, the top rarity of card is, you know, depending on the game you're playing and stuff, there's guaranteed to be one thing in there, or two things, or three things. You know that you're going to be getting at least something. So what he is talking about here, I believe, is that, you know, like a pity system would essentially be the equivalent, where you are then providing a booster box, which is the equivalent of a banner, and then you're also giving people that guarantee that they're going to get something, well, if by going in with whatever amount of thing. The reason why these aren't comparable is because one is an IRL thing. One is a thing that you buy online and gets shipped to your house and is a physical item that you have in your lap, in your house. It would definitely, it's a mentality thing. It's a business structure thing. It would definitely deter people from buying it again if they had this physical item in their house with a finite number of things that they can pull from, and then they get nothing. Imagine if you were to buy all of that, it comes, you know, to your house, and then you open all of it, and then it's just this junk. You wouldn't be enticed to spend any more money on it. And that's kind of his point with the gacha game system. But the difference with a gacha game system is that a banner is infinite. And that's what they're exploiting. That's why this is a little bit different than IRL trading card collecting, and why it's much more like a slot machine, because there is no stopping point. There's no reason for them to give you a guarantee at some point, because then that's them defining a stopping point. That's them telling you to stop summoning. They don't want you to stop summoning. They want you to go infinitely, right? So this doesn't quite compare to that. The other portion of this that doesn't compare is the trade portion. Because it's a trading card game, they want to give players one or two things good. That way they have the ability to participate in the other portion of the game, which is trading. That's not a thing in gacha games. It's what you get is what you get. There's no trading involved, right? So that's another factor that is just completely uncomparable to gacha games from what he is, you know, comparing to like IRL trading card games. So while it is a pretty simple system, I do not think that it works for video games like this at all. Okay, so Dokkan, however, gives you a turd on a stick, calls it a guaranteed SSR, slaps you across the face with the wet rag, tells you to spend another $20, the bare minimum of stones required for a summon, or go grind challenges for 8 months. It's not a smart business model. Okay. You are, at this point, coping, and you're flat out wrong. It is a smart business model, and that's why they have billions of dollars, because they're doing it right. I'm sorry. It's just, and again, this goes back to my entire point of making the video, is to try to get people not to fall for this genius business model, because it is a good business model, okay? So then this person goes on to say that they saved up a bunch of stuff. They got a lot of things, but they didn't get Gamma 1 or 2, and that's ridiculous. The odds are bad in this game, blah, blah, blah. So they're saying, you know, I'll never put another dime into this game again because they're not satisfied that they weren't able to get the Gammas. Yes, I got new units that are good, but they're only new to me. I never had them before. They're still a year old. Okay, I need to pause you right here and say that it is not a good take to address the power of a unit in game based on how old it is. Just because a unit's a year old doesn't mean it's bad. Look at the 7th anniversary LRs. They're still some of the best units in the game today. They're also a year old. Also, the Gammas are not even a year old. They're half a year old. So I just can't, I don't know. I just can't, like, and you're also talking about the Gammas. The Gammas are genuinely some of the best units in the game still. So yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't add up to me. Yeah, I just think this part here is genuinely just a bad take. I'm sorry. Okay, so the fact that you felt you had to make this and the apparent scale of shafting on this banner combined with my own experiences tell me that there is an overall problem here. Okay, yes. That's where we can agree. Now, where we disagree is what you're saying the problem is. Now, this is the big PSA that I'm going to leave you guys on for the end of this video here, okay? There is an overall problem here, okay? Let's go ahead and read my reply to him. Every problem you've addressed here perfectly parallels slot machines in a casino. The one place where I think you're blatantly wrong is, unfortunately, that it is a good business model. If it weren't, they would be making billions of dollars. The fact that it's set up to scam you is exactly why I put out the PSA in the first place. There is a way to play these games in a way that you can benefit from. No, you won't get everything that you want every single time, but that's not Bandai's fault. It's just the nature of these games. I respect your opinions. I do think it's a bit of a useless fight to say the solution, which he seems to be pointing at here, is that the billionaires need to change their ways. He's saying that they need to change their business models. They need to take older units off the banners. They need to give us a pity system. He didn't directly say that, but I believe he implied it with this portion here. I genuinely just don't see how saying that the billionaires and that the way that Bandai structures this game is the problem. If you believe that, I genuinely think it's not healthy for you to be playing gacha games. If you don't have the ability to cope and accept some responsibility for the fact that you took a risk and it didn't pay off for you, then I think that you have some self-reflecting to do for sure. So if you are anyone else out there like this, who shares these same sentiments, and you are wanting to blame Bandai for all of the problems that you're experiencing in Dokkan Battle because of the choices that you've made, then I think you definitely need to do some self-reflecting. I'm not here to put you down. I'm here to help. So when I start up that Discord server, I would be more than happy for you to join, and we can talk all about it there. Thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble. I greatly, greatly appreciate the support that I have been getting, and I hope that it continues and grows to the umpteenth degree. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.